While we're waiting for our beautiful hostess to arrive, I'm going to go ahead and get us started on gratitude. What is gratitude? It's been explained to me different ways, but what I found it to be is something that's happened within the last 24 hours that has helped me understand how appreciative the little things, how you should appreciate the little things. If you've had a life like mine, you've never really believed in things. Sorry. Never had anything to be thankful for. At least I didn't see anything. So I never even believed in the whole gratitude thing until I came here. And then I realized how much I do have. I'm grateful that God woke me up when I should not be here today. I am grateful that I stuck with her. We're going back out using one time and dying. I am grateful for all of you because people in this community helped me love myself enough to get out of abusive situations that I've been in for decades. It's easier to find the gratitude in the sun being up or hearing the birds sing, even though you're stuck in a basement. Plenty of things to be grateful for. And I see that our beautiful hostess has arrived. So I'm going to go ahead and hand over the reins to our beautiful Shalanna. I'm excited to hear what she's talking about today. This is a big, big topic. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Good morning, beautiful, beautiful ladies. Happy Friday. Happy, I was gonna say happy, I don't know what I was gonna say, happy Easter, first and foremost. Yes, I'm literally hopping out of bed. I think, Shannon, let me know if you want me to wait a few minutes to see who pops in. If you wanted to
go ahead and get started because we got stragglers that come in, but everybody always goes to the replay.
Gotcha. Okay. So you guys, it's funny because every time I do these calls, it's like I never know what I want to talk about. But today I'm feeling like I want to talk about triggers because we all go through triggers. We all face triggers that we need to deal with, right? Especially in our industry, we have a lot of people that will say certain things, or we have family will say one word and it instantly triggers us, right? And don't mind me, I literally made notes. I'm coming prepared for all you guys. And many times when we think of triggers, we think of it in a negative connotation, right? And then that's when we start to spiral in our thoughts. We spiral in not showing up for ourselves, showing up for our business. And sometimes it affects us. Let me know in the chat if it affects you. If it affects you, let's drop a 1 if it affects you like a lot, and you find yourself where you don't show up for days, maybe weeks, and you lose sight of the things that you want to do for yourself. Because I know it has for me. I know there's many times in the past where people will say, well, it's a scam, or I don't think you're going to make a lot of money. And you instantly absorb what they say. You feel triggered by it. And instead of going online, and this is what I do quickly, what I do now, actually, instead of going online and sharing your thoughts, but not calling them out indirectly, especially if they watch you, they end up just kind of, you end up just kind of retracting, right? And I want us to be extraordinary. Sorry, I'm still sick and recovering from COVID. So please just know that it's not that I'm tired. I want us to turn our triggers into positive ways to handle when certain things like this happen for us. And I learned this actually by doing personal development, and I thought it was just a beautiful thing. And I actually have been applying them to my day-to-day life, and it honestly feels amazing, especially when you might feel triggered and you don't even realize it. So I actually wanted to share three. Do I have three? I have four triggers, okay? So the first trigger is called a notification trigger, okay? So whenever you do feel triggered, and sometimes it's gonna happen when you least expect it, right? The notification trigger is pretty much where you put in your phone a phrase, okay? As a reminder to bring you joy, to bring you love, and to bring you positivity in your day. And you wanna set this reminder 3 times a day. So literally on my phone, 3 times every day, my phone will pop up as a reminder saying, focus on the positive. Sometimes it scares the poop out of me because I'm like at work, just minding my own business, just plugging away. And then all of a sudden my phone just pops off saying, focus on the positive. Whenever that notification comes off, take a moment, read it, and focus on the positive, no matter where you're at. Because sometimes you're gonna feel where something, someone, or you're just dealing with something in life right now, or there's a challenge that's going on. Focus on the positive. Because if we're constantly focusing on the negative, that's when we're gonna get super triggered. Or when when we're facing obstacles, that's when a trigger is going to really affect us the most. And I say that because it's happened to me and that's my experience. So put a notification on your phone, and legit, like, I'll show you mine right now just because sharing is caring. But my notification literally says, where is it? I have one that's set at 11:11, 1:11, and 7:11, and it literally pops in every day, and it says focus on the positive. So find yourself a phrase, whatever it wants. Bring in the joy. I am powerful. Whatever kind of statement that resonates the most with you, put that in your phone so that it's a daily reminder. Because I'm telling you, you are going to get triggered and people are going to PISS you off. And honestly, this has been a game changer, especially when you have to go to your 9 to 5 and you're dealing with different energies that do not match yours. And which leads me to the second trigger, which is called the door frame trigger. Okay. So it's kind of like when you're going into a different room, whether it be going into like your work and you have to go from room to room, you're going into your house and you're going from room to room. Say something positive to yourself for every time you walk into a new room. Okay. So, because how many times have you walked into a room and you felt like the energy was like really tense? You felt it and you're like, ooh, like something does not feel right here, and then it makes it awkward, it makes it uncomfortable. So why not walk into a door or into a new room, not knowing what the energy is, not caring what the energy is, but worrying about you? Because there are times where I've walked into a room, the energy is super low, or you feel the tension, and you might say something not knowing, and then people are attacking you. And now all of a sudden you're triggered for no reason, and it's not even your fault. So why not just walk into a new room and just be like, you know what? This is not my own. Today is a new day. Focus on me. Whatever it is, good things are happening. I am worthy of it. Deflect the energy of people. Whatever kind of positive thought that comes into your mind, write it down and literally apply it. Again, these are notifications and triggers that I do for myself daily. And honestly, it does bring a different energy to yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, we're human. We're going to have those moments where we're going to feel like ultra negative, or not ultra negative, scratch that. We're going to feel super, we're going to have our dips. We're going to have our low moments. But doing these triggers literally has given me a sense of like, okay, wait a minute, your bounce back is a whole lot easier than you focusing on it for the entire day, for the weekend, for the week, or for the month. And then you find yourself where you're not doing what you want to do and the goals that you want to get. Drop a 3 if that makes any sense, please. Now, when it comes to the third trigger, it's called the waiting trigger. And the reason why, and And at first when I heard this, I was like, what's a waiting trigger? Like, and I'm gonna be real with you, but how many of you guys get impatient waiting in lineups, with your kids, or getting stuck in traffic, or you know, what else makes you impatient? Food's not cooked in time, or you just start to spiral because you're wanting something right away and it's not working, right? And I know that a lot of times when we're impatient, it literally can like lower our vibration. So whenever you're coming up with these things, maybe rate yourself between 1 and 10 and ask yourself where your vibration is. If you believe in that. If you don't believe in that, if you, whatever you believe in, God, peanut butter, universe, whatever your higher faith is, ask yourself where you're at. If you are lower than a 5, then you need to have a little bit of a chat with yourself and find a way to raise your vibration. So, for example, I was driving yesterday I was finishing up getting my passport. And as I was driving home, I noticed I was getting impatient because I was stuck in traffic. I was like, oh my goodness, how do people not know how to drive? And then I realized, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I'm getting mad at the flow of traffic, which unfortunately is out of our control. You know what I mean? So what I started doing is I'm like, okay, how can I raise my vibe and just make my journey home a whole lot pleasant? Because this is not fun feeling tensed, feeling impatient, and then feeling negative. You know what I mean? Because then you start looking over, you start spinning your car everywhere, trying to understand what is the problem. Do people not know how to put their foot to the pedal and go? I mean, maybe that's just me because I have a lead foot, and sometimes I have road rage, but that's just something that, I'm holding myself accountable on. And how can I make my road rage less ragey? So what I did is I was like, okay, I find that I'm at like a 6, let's bring that up a bit. And I literally turned on music or turn on a podcast or sit up there and get a scream out and then turn on your music. I literally screamed and I was like, okay, we need to put on some better high vibrational music. And then the minute I turned on some high vibe music, I instantly started feeling better. And the flow of traffic just was like, okay, let's just keep going. Before I knew it, I was home, but then I ended up going out to grab other things. So the flow of traffic just eased with more comfortability. And I was like, okay. So whenever you are, catching yourself being impatient, maybe give yourself a moment to pause. And also, if you are stuck at home and maybe your kids are annoying you at that moment, maybe take a step away. Go to the, like I was going to say, go to the closet, but go to the closet. Go to the bathroom for a split second. Turn on a TikTok or an Instagram reel and watch something funny, so that can help raise your vibration as well. So that is called the waiting trigger. Now, the 4th trigger, and this one is a common one I find, is the stress trigger. Now, I've been doing a lot of like research about stress and stuff like that, and I truly find that we create it. It's created by ourselves, okay? And despite whatever is going on in our lives, we get to ultimately choose the feelings, like when we ultimately get to choose the feelings that we want to feel when those moments come on us, okay? So whenever stress is coming up for you, you really have to pay attention to your body. That's one thing that I've really been noticing for the past couple of years, even before Thrive, is really paying attention to what is coming up for me. If you're feeling stressed, instantly, like for me, my body can tell me when stress is coming on. And then I have to literally take a step back and be like, why am I feeling stressed? What is coming up for me? I literally have to talk to myself about the things that might be coming up. Could it be A? Could it be B? Could it be Z? Could it be G? And give yourself a moment to sit and write it out. or talk to yourself, journal on it, whatever that looks like. But it's really important to get clear with yourself, because the minute you get clear with yourself and you understand what is causing the stress, then you're able to maybe take a moment to put in some self-care, put in some love into yourself so that you can move through the stress with a little bit more ease. And then you can have a little bit more compassion for yourself. And then that stress literally starts to disappear. So just understand whatever is coming up in your life, just know that it is just like, it's for a season. So if you are feeling stress, it's time for you to get back into yourself, into your heart chakra, into your I can't even talk right now, into your portal, into you, so that you can move through that. And I say that because I've done it. Trust me, it's not easy, especially if you've never done this type of work. But you have to give yourself grace, and you have to give yourself compassion, and you have to love on yourself whenever you are dealing with any of these triggers. So maybe for like 5 minutes right now, I want everybody to write down what type of notification trigger you're going to put in your phone. Whatever it is, because maybe you're stuck, maybe you don't know what type of trigger or what type of notification you want to put in your phone. And pick whatever time works for you. It doesn't have to be 11:11. It could be 10 a.m. It could be 1 p.m. And then it could be 9 p.m. But what type of notification, what type of positive affirmation resonates the most for you to put in your phone that reminds you every day? I am consistent. Ooh, I like that. I am consistent. And how does that make you feel? Okay, I am safe and sound. Oh, I like that too. I'm grateful. Yes. Now, when you're saying that too, what kind of vibration does that bring to you? I am clean and worthy of happiness. Yes, I love that. Positive. You want it to feel good. You want it to like literally lift up your vibe, because that is what you want to do. Grounded, where I'm supposed to be. Yes, yes. Grounded is so important, because when you start to say it, and when you see it pop up, then you're like, ooh. And that's literally what I feel. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And it might, and let it ring on loud. Doesn't matter where you're at. Sometimes you might be in a meeting. Sometimes you might be, at your job. You might be getting yourself like your morning, activate. Whatever it is, let that come up. And then people be like, why does your phone keep ringing? I'm like, oh, it's just my notification trigger. Start the dialogue. People might ask you, because people ask me like, Shalanna, your phone went off again. I was like, oh, sorry, that's my notification trigger. And people are like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's a daily reminder 3 times a week for me to focus on the positive. And then some people like, what? And some people might think I'm a Fruit Loop, whatever. Think I'm a Fruit Loop all you want. But it brings more positivity in my life, especially when you are at work. If you can have at least 2 of them while you're at work, I strongly suggest you should. If you are working a 9 to 5 and you have to go out, you know what I mean? And obviously I know certain jobs, you can't have your phone on you, so you have to play it diligently, but choose whatever time works best for you and run with it. And if the time doesn't work, you can always change it. That's the joy of it. I did see a couple other ones. I am worthy and deserving. Yes, you are, Melinda. I have alarms of I welcome infinite possibilities I will receive. That is so beautiful. And that honestly, I love each and every one of these trigger notifications, and literally put it in your phone. And if you want, send me a DM, hit me up on Instagram and let me know how that feels, because when you do it consistent, that's the thing, consistency is key. And when you're doing it consistently, the world literally, you feel more confident. So when you do have the struggles of whatever you're dealing with, especially if you're new to the Thrive community, welcome. This is really going to give you the compassion and the love to just do it with like the unapologetic self. And when you do it unapologetically, then you're going to start showing up, not really worrying about people's opinions, about your fear. You're just going to do it scared, and you're not going to let the indecision or the doubts stop you from continuing up and showing up, whether that's on Facebook, that's on Instagram, that's on TikTok, that's whatever platform that you choose to hit, you know, and just have fun with this. Keep that in mind. Okay, that's why I want these triggers to be a positive outlook for you guys, because we always see triggers as negativity. We always see triggers as like, oh my God, this is bad, you know, but it doesn't have to be. You get to choose how you want to see a trigger. And on the flip side, like I said earlier, when people do talk to you about triggers, or when people say something that triggers you, write it down and ask yourself, I'm like, why does this bother me? Why am I so affected by this? How can I move through this? But then what I do now is I will literally go on Instagram and I'll find some quotes, or I'll go on Pinterest, I'll find some quotes. I'll find things that resonate for me in that particular moment around that particular conversation, and I will talk about it on my stories. Now, if you're not comfortable talking about it on your stories, this is a perfect opportunity to get comfortable talking in your stories. And you don't have to call them out like and say, you know, Erica, you did this. No, that's not how you have to do it. Because if she has that one thought, there's going to be other people that have that thought. So the way that you can do it is you can say, you know what? I was having a conversation with a friend of mine not too long ago, because it doesn't have to be, it could have been like 5 minutes ago, but 5 minutes ago is not too long ago. It could be an hour ago. That's still not too long ago. It could have been a day ago, not too long ago. Be honest and be authentic to when you're having the conversation, how you want to start it, and just say, you know what? It's funny because I was talking, you know, about this and this and this. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Get yourself comfortable. And it's like, you know, people are going to have their doubts, but don't, and then you can run off and talk about the topic that maybe was brought up and how it's triggered you, you know? And if that person is watching you and watching your stories, oh well, let them feel more triggered. But the reason why also you are triggering someone else is because you are stepping into that zone of going first. You are doing the uncomfortable. You are, you know, really showing up for yourself, showing up for your goals. So that's why I wanted to talk about all of these in a positive way. So keep showing up for yourself. Don't let anybody stop you because they are feeling triggered. And also, if you are triggering them, congratulations. That's all I'm going to say, because you're doing your job. You're actually doing your job in allowing people to maybe think outside the box. If people got something to say about what you're doing, about how you've changed, about how you are different, or how, you know, you weren't like this 3 years ago, 7 months ago, you're triggering them. So keep doing that. And if they unfollow you for a split second because you're too positive, or you're too happy, or you're doing something that they don't believe in, again, congratulations. You're doing something. You are triggering them because you're not the same person that you were 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago, you know, 5 years ago. So keep going, and you gotta keep pushing yourself. Do not give up, especially when that happens. If anything, come back to this little Zoom and remind yourself as to the notification triggers, the waiting trigger, the stress trigger, and just love on yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to move through it. Like, give yourself the opportunity to move through it, but then remember why, and then come back to where you are at, if that makes sense. Yes, it does make sense. If it doesn't make any sense, let me know. Hit me up in my DMs and be like, Shalanna, that made no sense. And also, don't apologize for it. Don't apologize for trying new things, for stepping outside of your zone, for chasing your goals, for doing it. Because let me tell you, one thing I've learned, whether you're new or you're not new in this industry, network marketing, is you have to be, what was it? I saw something on Instagram yesterday. You have to be proud of this industry. Because if you're not proud of this industry, if you're not proud of the things that you're doing, then that's where you feel stuck. That's when you can't show up and share how amazing these products are, how amazing you feel, how amazing this community is. So remember, show up for yourself. And also, whenever you're feeling triggered, just trust and believe that that notification is going to happen. And I'm telling you this as well, because there are times where I'm like, oh man, I'm at work. And I'm telling you, this one girl I work with, she cries all the time. And I swear she's miserable. I've given her a 3-day sample and she hasn't taken it yet, but it is what it is. I'll come back to her next week. But she cries and the energy definitely changes the room. And I instantly, sometimes I want to retract, but then all of a sudden my focus on the positive notification comes on. And I was like, oh, yes, thank you. And that literally flips my zone, or that literally flips my mindset. And then I was like, okay, time to listen to a podcast. Okay, maybe I'm going to spend 5 minutes writing content. Maybe I'm going to get up and I'm going to go walk out of my room. I'm going to walk out of my room to create a new positive affirmation or a positive, a thought. So I walk into a different room with a different sense of being, so that when I walk back into that room, I've created a new outlook. I've created a new vibe, So thank you for listening to me. Shannon, I'm going to give the floor back to you. Yes, I hope this resonated. If you have any questions, again, my DMs are open, Instagram or Facebook. Maybe just hit me up on Instagram better, because I check my DMs there more than I do my Facebook. That sounds so bad. But yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. That was like a complete and total half hour of mic drop. So I can't even follow up with that. So I'm just going to say happy Flex Friday. Go out there, be the beautiful person that you are, and let's try these things. I've already set up the reminders in my phone. So I will see you all on Monday. Have a great Easter weekend. Be safe. Whatever else it is that you do, just do it with everything. See y'all later.